Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lisa and I am That Doll Collector. Thank you so much for choosing to watch today's video. My cat is right down here rubbing on my legs. Anyway, for those of you that are not familiar with my channel, have never watched me before, thank you so much for choosing to watch and welcome. And I will tell you that, of course, obviously, I am a doll collecting channel. This channel, it was made exclusively for that, to share my collection. I've been collecting dolls all my life, ever since I was just a wee little girl. And I still have every doll that I've ever owned. And I will tell you that I have dolls of all kinds. All dolls are welcome on this channel. It does not matter where it comes from, what kind of doll. I have all different kinds of dolls in my collection. On my channel, I also like to share some of my collection of plushies and stuffies, and also vintage toys from my childhood. And along with that, I also like to share a lot of stories about my childhood and some of my special adult experiences. So welcome everyone. I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad to be back and in my happy place, or one of my happy places. Last time I was outside in my garden. That's another one of my happy places. But this is my inside happy place, my doll room. As you will see all of my different babies, all my baby dolls in the background. Not all of them, only a portion. I do have more than this. Those of you that have been with me have seen most of them by now. But this one right here, this one on my lap, this is Rusty. Rusty is the Liam sculpt, the manufactured Liam sculpt. And today we are going to change Rusty's clothes into something that is themed about what we're going to talk about. But before we change his clothes, I will show you what he has on right now. He has on a little sailboat outfit. It has all different kinds of sailboats on, and he's got his water walking shoes on, because we just got done celebrating our 70th anniversary of our summer festival in our town here in Minnesota. And it's themed around the big lake that's in this town. And they had fireworks. I always take off work for the fireworks. And then the next day they have a parade. I watched the parade this year. It was pretty good, but oh, it was hot. It was so hot, everybody. It's still been hot and sticky and just miserable to be outside, especially on the day they had the parade. They had a heat warning out, and it was pretty hot. But it's starting to get better. I don't know. I can't take the heat like I used to, but I still prefer, if I had to choose, I prefer the heat over the extreme cold. I know a lot of people say they would take the cold because they can put on more clothes and be warmer. But if I put on more clothes, enough clothes to be warm enough, I feel like I can't move. I feel like little Randy in that movie, The Christmas Story, where his mother keeps putting clothes on. He's like, I can't put my arms down. That's what I feel like. Oh, and please excuse the wiggling of the camera right now, because my cat is rubbing on the stand. So that is why you're moving. Paprika. Yeah, stop rubbing on that. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today, and what we're gonna change, I'm gonna back up here so that you can see Rusty better. We are going to change Rusty's clothes into something, well, it's going to be a little bit warmer, but it's going to be for a purpose. We're going to change him into an outfit so he can get ready to go on a motorcycle ride. Yes, we're going to talk about motorcycle rides and some of the experiences that I had while I was married. My husband was into motorcycles, and every year a group of us would go on a trip to a park up in northern Minnesota, and we'd all camp, and it was a really fun experience. And also, I'm going to talk about a very special person that I recently lost, and he also had a love of motorcycles, and his name was Jim. So to begin with, let me show you what I'm going to dress Rusty in, if I can move my cat off of the clothes, because she's laying on them right now. But first of all, we are going to dress, well, you gotta move, because we gotta show them. Okay. We're gonna put this pair of gray pants, gray jeans on Rusty. It's got like a little cargo pants. And he's just gonna wear his white onesie for like a t-shirt underneath. And we're gonna put his little leather jacket on. Yes, Rusty has a little black leather jacket. We're gonna put this on. And then we're gonna put this bandana on his head to keep his hair back and give him, he doesn't like the air in his ears when we ride motorcycle, do we? So we're going to put this on his head. A lot of motorcycle riders wear these bandanas on their heads when they ride. And he doesn't have any riding boots that fit him, so we're just going to put these black rubber boots on him, and they'll do. Okay, so while I was married, like I said, my husband had 3 or 4 motorcycles, and I never drove my own motorcycle, but I liked to ride. I would ride behind my husband, and we had all the gear, the leather jackets, the leather vests, and I always liked to wear a helmet and my husband did too, because of the bugs. I did not like the bugs flying in my face and the air in my ears and my eyes. My eyes would dry out, and I have long hair. And when you're riding in the wind like that, it is not good for your long hair. It's one big rat's nest by the time you get done riding. So anyway, yeah, I remember, oh man, it was probably 3 or 4 years in a row, maybe more like 4 or 5. A big group of us would always get together in the summer. It was probably right around this time, actually, that we would all get together and go for a weekend camping, and we would ride our motorcycles. And the fun thing about it is, ahead of time, a group of them, they would always plan, and they would do a scavenger hunt. So what that entailed was, because we didn't all leave at the same time, we kind of left in different groups of people, because I think altogether there was like maybe 20 or 25 of us. And so there were different groups that would leave to get there at different times. We would get there on the same day, but it would be like at different times a lot of time. And so they would have a route, and everybody had the same route that you had to take to get to the campsite. And then they would give you a list of things that you had to find on this scavenger hunt along the way. And what you did when you thought you found it was you would have to take a picture of it on your phone. And then when we all got to the campsite, later on that night, we would sit and see who got all the scavenger hunt items on their phone, and if they were correct, and then those people usually won something. I can't remember. It was something really simple, just a real small prize of some kind or something. But it was interesting, because you got to see there were some people that got pretty competitive. I mean, it was just for fun. A couple of things were really hard to find unless you were really looking for them. One I remember was that somebody had, a farmer had taken like some of his round bales and made like painted it like a pumpkin on the one side of the, like an orange pumpkin face, and jack-o'-lantern, I guess. And you had to take your picture with this giant pumpkin. And some of the, it was, like I said, you had to really be looking to find some of these things. So yeah, it was really fun. On our trip then, we would go to different places too. There's a couple casinos that we went to. I didn't care about gambling, but we would go there sometimes and have like brunch or something like that. And then we toured a brewery. We toured one time. That was really interesting. And then we rode through a state park with our motorcycles. It was really fun. We always had a lot of fun on our trips. One thing I remember, one time when we were riding, there was a guy that was riding, well, kind of beside my husband and I. And if you're familiar with how you ride motorcycle, you usually ride, staggered along the highway, one on the outside and one on the inside and one on the outside, kind of staggered like that. And the guy that was on the outside, all of a sudden, I remember he pulled over to the side real fast and started taking off his clothes. And I'm like, what in the heck? So we pulled over ahead of, and turned around. And here what had happened is, in his jacket, the sleeve was kind of down, and a bee went in his leather jacket and was in his jacket and was stinging him. So I had never seen somebody take their clothes off so fast as that guy did that day when that bee went in his jacket. But yeah, I have lots of good memories. One year I didn't ride. A good friend of mine and we took my Volkswagen Beetle. I had a 1973 Super Beetle, Volkswagen Super Beetle. It was yellow, and she and I took my car, and that was fun because we just kind of followed the group. And then of course we became the catch-all for everybody's jackets, everybody's helmets, everybody's leftover food, whatever. We could carry water with us, but it was really fun that year too, when we tootled along in the little Beetle right behind the group. And we were quite a big group. It was kind of impressive to see all those motorcycles and then the tiny little Beetle following behind. But yeah, I have a lot of good memories of the motorcycle days. As time went on, I had a hard time riding. It would hurt my back and my tailbone, and towards the end I would only go on short trips because I couldn't stand to sit that long in that position. But I was grateful for the long trips that I was able to go on. Just my husband and I went on quite a few trips ourselves. We went to Wisconsin to see the House on the Rock. If you guys are not familiar with that, that is really something to see. You should look it up. If you ever get a chance, you should go see it. It's very interesting. So we took a long motorcycle ride and stopped and camped along the way and did that. And then we went we had this challenge here in Minnesota. It was called the Zorba's Restaurant Challenge. And there's a restaurant chain called Zorba's. And what you had to do was visit every single Zorba's in a certain amount of time. I can't remember I think it was a weekend. I think they gave you a weekend. But anyway, or no, I guess there was not a time limit. I take that back. It's just you had to visit each one, and then you had to get a stamp. You had a card and they would stamp your card. So we did that in a weekend. We took the bike and we did it in a weekend. And when you got done with the challenge, they gave you a t-shirt. And I still have my t-shirt to this day. It was kind of cool. Some fun. Seen a lot of different I got really tired of eating Zorba's food by the time we were done, because you have just about everything on the menu when you go to that many of them. There was like at least 10, I think. There was quite a few. So anyway, and then something a little bit more somber I have to talk about is about my friend Jim, who recently passed away. And I will tell you, he was in a motorcycle accident. He was riding his motorcycle, and a car pulled out, and he was killed. And but let me tell you about that man. Jim, I also worked with him, and he was very much loved at work. He had been at my place of work for 42 years. Now I've been there for 29. So all those years that we were there, I got to know Jim, especially towards these last maybe 15 years, 15 or 20 years, I think. We worked more close together, and he was in the maintenance, and he did a lot of things that some of the other maintenance people didn't do, and we are really seeing the effects of that right now, him being gone. But Jim was he was a cool person. He would always stop and say hi to you. He made a point every day to do that, and I'll never forget how he would often say, "Lisa," and I'd look at him and I'd say, "Yes, Jim," and he'd say, "Hi." I'd say, "Hi, Jim, how are you today?" He's like, "Good." And he had this shuffly walk, and I never seen Jim drink anything other than coffee. He always had his cup of coffee. Jim was always losing things in the shop. His cup of coffee, he would leave it sit. All over the shop, you would find half-drank cups of coffee because he forgot where he put it. And I'm having a hard time getting these pants on, Rusty, but we'll get them on. Okay. And he liked to tell jokes. That was one thing I'll never forget about Jim. So he would lose things, right? He would misplace things, and he was often looking for his stepladder. And he would often come up to me, "Have you seen my stepladder?" I was like, "No, last time I saw it," and I'd tell him where it was or whatever. Well, then pretty soon you'd see him come along with he found it. He would find his stepladder. And he would stop and always say to me, "It's a good thing I found my stepladder. You know, I really like the stepladder. I never knew my real ladder, so I'm really glad I have this stepladder." Oh, my real ladder, yeah. That made a lot of people laugh. He made a lot of people laugh. He had a lot of dad jokes that he told. And come to find out, he had some other jokes that he told that I never heard because I was the female in the shop, and I suppose it was inappropriate. But yeah, I'm really gonna miss him. He was married. Jim was 65 years old. He was getting ready to retire. He has 2 children that are grown, and I remember this happened right after Father's Day, and he was right before Father's Day. I talked to him before he took I think he took that weekend off, if I remember, and he was really looking forward to Father's Day this year because his gift was going to be time. It was going to be his two children were coming home and they were just going to all spend time together. And he said that's going to be the best gift that he's ever gotten. Is just to spend time with his kids. So at least he got to do that. I'm glad that he did. So yeah, Jim was very much loved. It was a shock. You know, I remember seeing on Facebook that there had been an accident, and I read, you know, the ages of the people, and, you know, just thought, oh, you know, whenever I read or hear or see anything about somebody getting into an accident, I know how bad those can be. I've been in a couple car accidents, and they can be really bad. I always say a little prayer. I say a prayer for all those involved, because it's never good. And one thing that's good though, Jim's in heaven. I know he's in heaven with God right now, because he believed in Jesus. He believed in God. And on the first Sunday of every month at our place of work, we are blessed to be able to have a non-denominational little, I guess, church service is what it is at our place of work. We take about 20 minutes, and we, those of us who want to, can attend a little service at work on Sunday, because we work the weekends. A lot of us don't get a chance to go to church. And Jim was always there. Every time I was there, I saw him there too. So I know that he's okay. He's gonna be okay. And it's sad when we lose someone close to us like that. It seems like it's so devastating that we almost wish time could stop. But time doesn't stop, does it? Not for anything. Not even when someone dies. Time just keeps going on, and we keep going on. And yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to come on and share that with you, share my motorcycle memories, do this little chat and change with Rusty in memory of Jim, and let you know a little bit about him. He was very special. I learned a lot of things about machining from Jim. When he would fix your machines or do something with your machine, he was really good at explaining what he was doing. So to this day, I know things that I would not have known had he had not been there to explain. So he was very special. He will be very much missed. We all loved him. He's in heaven with Jesus. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video today. I'm so glad I was able to find the time to make this video for you all, and I hope you enjoyed it. And with that, we are going to say goodbye, and we hope that you are all having a very happy Dolly Day. We thank you for stopping by and helping to make our day a very happy Dolly Day. Remember that happiness is a choice. We can't always choose how we feel about a situation, but we can always choose how we react to it. I love you, and I hope to see each and every one of you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Goodbye for now. Say goodbye, Rusty.